I'd like to begin by introducing those that are up here with me. We're fortunate enough to have Mr. Brian Albritton, who is the U.S. Attorney for the Middle District of Florida, Assistant U.S. Attorney Jeff Downing, ASAC Randy Bowman with the Drug Enforcement Administration, and the Winston Park Park Director, Mr. Billy Graham, as well as Major Donald Lazinski and Colonel Albert Frost. I just have want to start by giving you a brief overview of this investigation, and then I'll turn it over to Mr. Albritton and ASAC Bowman. In response to numerous complaints, citizen complaints of gang-related drug activity in the Progress Village and Palm River area, the Sheriff's Office Gang Enforcement Section began an intensive undercover operation within the Palm River and Progress Village area back in December of 2008. During the course of the next several months, narcotics transactions were conducted with numerous gang members that assisted in the development of intelligence and cooperation from individuals who provided assistance to law enforcement. This information eventually revealed a gang hierarchy within the Palm River Progress Village area and the associated neighborhoods. Through covert investigation, gang members involved in large-scale narcotics trafficking were identified and became the focus of the investigation. Although the initial investigation targeted organizations within the Palm River and Progress Village communities, it evolved into a complex drug trafficking network reaching as far north as Chicago, Illinois, and Texas. Ultimately, detectives identified members of the criminal organizations who were importing millions of dollars of narcotics into the United States via Mexico. As a result of the investigation, 33 gang members and drug dealers have been federally indicted to date, and dozens more are still pending federal and state charges. Gang members were identified and arrested from the Latin Life, the Progress Village Boys, the Palm River Boys, and the 8 Deuce Click gangs. Personal property, which is an often prized proceed from the criminal activity, was seized, and these included numerous vehicles, watercraft, trailers, approximately $600,000 in cash, approximately 1,200 pounds of marijuana, over 40 kilograms of powdered cocaine, and a half kilogram of crack cocaine, and numerous firearms. The approximate value of the drugs seized is estimated to be at about $2.5 million. So this investigation obviously would not have been possible without the joint cooperation of all the organizations represented here today. So I'd like to go ahead and turn it over to Mr. Albritton, who can speak to you with in a little more specificity in terms of the actual charges brought as part of the federal indictments. Mr. Albritton?
Thanks, Chief. Well, good morning, everyone. This is really a great day because, once again, we're announcing indictments and arrests of 15 defendants, indictments of 16 as part of this ongoing operation focused here in the Progress Village, Palm River area, but obviously extending throughout the United States. Ladies and gentlemen, this investigation really represents a lot of hard work. And unlike the TV shows where things are done and wrapped up in an hour, this represents over a year's worth of work and coordination by really a number of law enforcement agencies. Again, as the Chief said, this investigation, these cases were brought in response to really a serious problem with gangs here in this part of Hillsborough County. And as a result of that investigation, it grew into something much larger Hillsborough County Sheriff deputies and DEA agents identified what was in fact a much larger drug trafficking organization that operated in these areas that was centered out of Texas. So I want to take this opportunity to commend Sheriff G and the Hillsborough County Sheriff's Office for their work in making these cases. As the materials which we distributed to you show, these defendants are charged with very serious drug offenses, and some of them arrested this week are facing, in many instances, mandatory life sentences if they're convicted. I believe there are 5 individuals facing that, and others are facing as much as 40 years behind bars. So these are very, very serious drug offenses. And I also would like to thank agents from DEA who contributed to this effort as well. DEA has a strong partnership with us and with the Sheriff's Office, and you know, the proof's in the pudding. It's really paid off. And today we have with us Deputy Special Agent in charge of DEA, Randy Bowman, who's come up from Miami. Randy, I appreciate you making the trip. We work closely with DEA and really have a lot of admiration for that agency. And I want to also, if you will, indulge me to recognize and commend the work of Assistant United States Attorney Jeff Downing, who's here with me today. Jeff is going to be the person who's prosecuting these matters on behalf of our office, obviously, and it's shown by the indictments. He has done a lot of work in developing these cases. Gangs and the cooperation with local law enforcement to root out gang problems continues to be a priority of the United States Attorney's Office and of the Department of Justice. This is one significant step and really trying to help our communities with this problem that extends far beyond a local community. So essentially, I hope that by the results of this investigation, the 33 federal indictments that have been made, that the public can see that there really is a lot of good work going on here in the Tampa Bay area to fight the difficult drug problems which infect our communities. So I want to again thank DEA and the Hillsborough County Sheriff's Office for really this great team effort.
Good morning. Before I start today, I'd just like to recognize the people who really did the work, and those are the officers and deputies from the Hillsborough County Sheriff's Office and the agents from DEA, and also the DEA task force participants with the Lakeland PD, Tampa PD, Pasco, Hernando, and I know I'm forgetting somebody, but they also contributed to this investigation. As you heard today, you had an overview of the investigation, but many of the local defendants lived in the community, and through their alleged action, they affected the lives of the citizens who lived in this community. Where you find drugs, you find guns, and you find violent crimes. They all go hand in hand. And I think this investigation was success based on the cooperative efforts of the law enforcement community in this area and also the citizens who live here. And the Hillsborough County recognized that this was just not a local impact investigation. Instead of just cutting off the tail of the dragon, they just decided to slay the dragon's head. And that's by going after the source of supply in Texas. Thank you.
And just to add on to what he's saying, speaking from a Parks and Recreation point of view, this what you see is why the Recreation Department is so important in these communities, giving these children opportunities to do different things and have a safe place to go. And that's why we are so appreciative. These young men that you see on this board, several were my kids at Parks and Recreation. And so it really hurts to see this. But you know, we have the others that we definitely have to push forward and work towards getting them in the right direction. So we're very appreciative. Thank you all. Thank you.
Can you expand on that? I mean, so you work in this community, you're familiar with some of the folks that were arrested?
Absolutely. I've worked in this community for 12 years between Clare Mill, Palm River, and Progress Village area. And several of these guys were kids of mine on the park. And so that's why it hurt so much, because all the potential that they brought to the table and just chose a different way to go. But, you know, it's sad, but, you know, once again, we have to keep pushing forward and assure that we have a safe place for the kids.
I mean, obviously working here, I mean, you've heard rumblings of gangs and this and that. How concerned are you? Probably hear from parents as well. How concerned are we
Well, it's a great concern. We have community meetings all the time, and they bring these issues up. And I will say the sheriff's office does an outstanding job in addressing these concerns. And these are some things, I mean, they can't advise us on everything that they're doing, but here's the end result. And that's why it's so important that we support our sheriff as well as Parks and Recreation.
Were you one of the people that contacted the sheriff's office and said, we've got a problem with gangs, come out and help us? I mean, did you go that far?
Absolutely, absolutely. Any assistance that can be given to the sheriff's office in reference to that will be great. I mean, because the ultimate goal is the safety of the community as well as a safe place for these kids to attend.
Billy, can you talk about how out in the open this was happening? Is there anything that stuck out in your mind that you remember seeing?
Nothing right, directly out in the open. You would see different things happen, with the guys or whatever. But one thing, a lot of them knew me because I had them on the park. And I would go and tell them, hey, look, guys, this is the park. Okay, Coach Bill, and they'll leave. So I had a rapport with some of the guys that are up here to the fact of that they will respect coming to the park, but ultimately this is the good day, now these kids and as well as the community are a safer place.
Can you give us an idea of what was going on in this neighborhood? I mean, were these folks just receiving drugs and selling drugs here, or were they passing them on?
I think the drugs were smuggled up from Texas for distribution not only here but also in Chicago, and then the cocaine was being broken down and crack cocaine and being distributed in the local community.
How was it brought here? Was it brought through watercraft or through...
Tractor trailer. It was concealed in tractor trailers coming from Texas.
And how did that work? Was it inside tires?
It was inside produce. Produce, limes.
Can you tell us a little bit more about
Well,
that?
the limes were the produce in the bag. It wasn't inside the limes itself.
More limes?
Yes, limes.
Thank you, sir.
That's what I was just going to say. Can you just give us a little bit more of an idea of exactly, was it, something that the limes were in boxes, it was then packed inside of them? Can you give us a visual idea of how it was concealed?
From what I've been told, the limes were in boxes, and inside those boxes, the cocaine was concealed inside other boxes within that pallet or shipment.
Any idea how long this has been going on? How many years these guys have been bringing drugs in our area?
The investigation is still ongoing. Obviously, it's been in place. The structure has been in place for quite some time now, at least going back to 2008. We know that, and more than likely sometime before that. But we still are continuing the investigation, and hope to make some additional arrest as a result of information obtained through the arrest of these individuals. I think probably one of the most telling things about this organization is the head of the organization, as you can see in the chart here, is a young man, I believe 23 years of age, in charge of this organization, and he was a college student. We know he was attending college classes in Texas and running a major trafficking organization on the side. So you just never know who's involved in these types of activities.